Hello, and welcome to another episode of my Becky Bubble podcast. Today I have my doggo with me, or my family's dog, and my little teddy dog. And yeah, I feel like this episode is going to be quite difficult for me because I don't even know how to express it. I don't even know how to put it in words, neither in English or in German. And I still feel like this is a topic so many people are struggling with. And it's like not even about mental health, or like it can be about mental health, but it's more like I feel like a thing a lot of people struggle with. And this is the topic of today is the crisis you experience when you're in your 20s and you don't know what to do with your life. And I feel like I want to talk about this because all of my friends are experiencing this. And I feel like it's important about it to talk about it because it's such an intense feeling. I think it's kind of all the feelings I've ever experienced combined. It's anxiety, it's stress, it's like sadness and like the feeling of letting go of some kind of version you had in your head about yourself. It's also like kind of joy and excitement, but also like this weird excitement where you're like, I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do. And it's also like hope and feeling exhausted. And yeah. And I feel like I wanted to share that because I also feel so empty sometimes, and I feel like I don't have a purpose, and no matter what I do, I will make the wrong choice. And sometimes I'm so indecisive of like what am I supposed to do, where am I supposed to go, who do I want to be, and I feel like I have to make a choice to get somewhere, but I'm also afraid to make a choice, and like all these kind of topics and thoughts that are just running through my head. I feel like describe kind of perfectly the crisis some people go through in their 20s when you haven't figured it out yet. And I'm just gonna help her. Do you wanna help? Or are you gonna jump? Wait. Oh, sorry. And yeah, I can just, like, from my experience, what I have had is like, I my whole life I had this idea of myself, who I'm going to be. So I'm going to finish school, then I'm going to do an apprenticeship, and then I'm going to have like this big ass career and be super successful. I like my goal was for sure to earn a lot of money and also have this like yeah, like be this impressive like female. I don't know how to say it, like to be role models for younger girls and like to be this badass, you know? But in a super like corporate job kind of way. Um, and I have been working towards that idea my whole life. That's basically why I finished high school because I wasn't doing good at all at that time. And I still was like, no, you have to do it so you can get a job and then you can. And then I was like, okay, I'm not going to study. I have to start working to get there. And I never liked studying. And then I did an apprenticeship. And I was like, okay, I want to start working. And then I started working, yeah, as much as I could basically. And then I kind of changed my plans and thought like, okay, if I have the energy now because of the ADHD meds started using, taking, I started to use, I started to take at that time, you know what I mean? Then I might as well study. And then I started studying, and that wasn't like great at all for me. And studied, worked at the same time, and then I realized, oh my God, this, or I didn't even realize it, to be honest. I was just holding on to this idea of this person I want to be, and just like trying everything, literally everything, to make this lifestyle work. So studying, working, and I got depressed and even more depressed. And then, yeah, I was like tired and exhausted and sad all the time. But I was like, no, you have to work, you have to make, like, yeah. And then I quit studying and I quit my job. And I was like, what do I want now? And I feel like that's the point where I got like the worst anxiety of my life and had to go to a mental hospital because I had like panic attack after panic attack after panic attack. And I was just anxious the whole day. And I remember sitting in this hospital and I was like, it's not even worth it. Like, there's no life I can go home to in Berlin. There is nothing I feel like I want to be right now. There's no version of myself I feel like would be a version I would actually be happy with. I have no job I want to do at home, like nothing to go back to. And I got really stuck in this feeling. And yeah, I feel like that was my worst crisis in my 20s so far. About like the whole life crisis and what I want to do. And then all of a sudden I had like this idea again, what I want to do. And I was like, okay, no, I want to go into fashion. I want to go into the creative scene. I want to do like something creative with my life. And I started being hopeful again. I moved back to Berlin. I got better whatsoever. But like my point is, or where I'm getting at, and then this didn't work out at all. Like I applied to so many jobs, like all kinds of stores, retail, everything, where I can just do sales, sell clothes, do my shit, and get into like the whole fashion thing. And then I was like, okay, maybe I do the podcast thing, and I'm like doing it and it makes me happy, of course, but I'm not making a job out of it. Like it maybe takes up, I don't know, 20 hours of the week. No, not even, like 15 hours. Like with the whole social media, and I'm not being very consistent with the whole social media thing. And then this didn't start working out, and I was like, oh fuck, oh shit, what do I do? And I wasn't as like, I don't know if you can say desperate, but I wasn't like as desperate as I used to be when I was in the mental hospital, and I was like feeling like, okay, it doesn't even make sense for me to be alive anymore. But at the same time, I was afraid of dying. But yeah, but still, I was feeling so anxious and so stressed out because I was, who am I when I don't know where to go, what I want to do? Who am I if I don't have a purpose? And I feel like that's the biggest struggle I faced so far in my 20s while figuring out what I want to do. Your whole like base of who you are is like trembling. Can you say that? And yeah, and then I started traveling and I was like, whoa, actually, I want to be free. This is so amazing, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, I was like, no, it's still not what I want to do. It's not fulfilling. It's just like living day by day. And I don't know, it's fun, but it's not like, you have this deep, I have this deep craving of like doing something that really fulfills me and gives me a purpose and feel like I'm contributing to the world and doing something meaningful. I was like, I mean, this life is beautiful for sure, but I just feel like I'm not really contributing, and my life doesn't have my life doesn't have a purpose, and it doesn't like even make sense. Even if I'm meeting so many inspiring, beautiful, smart, funny people, it's still wasn't the real thing. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to Berlin. I'm gonna build that life. I came back, and again, the whole job hunting started. And I was like sending out all kinds of applications everywhere, coffee shops, yoga studios, retail, like clothing stores, everything. I feel like about 50, 60 applications. And then this whole like anxious feeling started again. I'm like, what am I doing in my life? Also, what a thought is that pops up so often in my head is everybody else got to figure it out. Like, I'm the only one. Everybody else is like following their dreams, doing their things, like doing a job, doing their creative shit, studying. They got it all figured out. And then I started talking to my friend, and for me, she's basically that person. She's like, she's following her dream to go into the music industry and still like studying. And I'm like, oh, I wish I had that. And she's like, girl, same. And then I realized maybe it's like less of a state you're in your life, and it's more of like an emotional thing. And that's why I'm talking about this, because I feel like so many people are actually experiencing this. It's like just this feeling of being unsure and uncertainty and not knowing where your life is going to go. As a child, I've always felt like, okay, you're going to finish school, then you're going to do university, or you're going to start a job and blah, blah, blah. And now it's like everything feels so uncertain, and that activates all kinds of emotions: fear, sadness, anxiousness, being stressed out, happiness, feeling stuck, fight or flight, excitement, like basically everything. And yeah, that's what I went through here again for the last 2 months. And basically now I've decided to travel again because it's just not working out for me. But to like close the circle and get to the point to what I actually wanted to say, in the last few days, it's gotten more intense and more intense for me every day. And then all of a sudden, I had this thought, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna practice one thing. And I feel like that's the best thing you can manifest, no matter where you are in life, because it applies to your 20s, but it applies to every situation in your life where you feel some kind of uncertainty. And that's like, I was like, I I know that life will fall into place, that my life will be good, or like I'll make the right choice, but I still don't feel it. I don't trust it. I don't believe it. And I feel like this is hard work, hard like manifestation, believing, hard work, but to trust, to start repeating that sentence and to start listening to your gut or reconnecting with your gut again. Because when I feel uncertain, my brain goes into like my brain starts spiraling, my thoughts start running, I get the worst monkey mind ever, and I can't even feel like what my gut is telling me anymore. I can't even hear my intuition anymore. And I feel like that's the main thing I've been struggling with, because I'm like always trying so hard to find a solution and as quickly as possible. And then I was like, okay, there is no right or wrong right now. There's no right solution. There's no wrong choice. There's no perfect life for you right now, or maybe there won't ever be a perfect life. You can just like, and maybe you need to let go of this idea that you can control your life, because right now you literally can't. You don't know what job is going to come up. You don't know where you're going to go, what to do. Your main focus should be on the fact that you should start working on the things that make you happy. And this thought gave me some kind of freedom. And then I started like, it's not like a routine, but it's just a reminder I want to send out to the world. Your life is not working against you. Like, no, it's hard to say. Like, just trust in life that everything will fall into place and everything will end up how it's supposed to be. And you'll end up where you're supposed to be. And accepting this uncertainty and accepting not feeling like safe and not feeling like secure, and just take a moment and close your eyes and breathe through it and be like, it's okay. I'll figure it out. It will be okay. And right now it just feels like I'm in a fight or flight mode. And I don't know. This kind of changed a lot for me. I know it's not a big thing, and I don't know if you get the message, but it shifted my whole perspective, because I I know one thing. It never really works out for me if I'm afraid and anxious and start like finding a solution with my brain. For me, it starts working out for me when I start believing and I start trusting. And I feel like that's definitely the hardest part for me. It's always been. But I calm my mind, I calm my body. And the calmer your mind is and the calmer your body is, the louder your intuition gets again. And that's where you make choices. That's where you like go with the flow and follow your maybe even impulsive thoughts, where you're like, okay, this is what I want to do next. And for me, this thought came up. I was like, okay. My head was like, no, I have to be here in Berlin and figure it out now. And all of a sudden, my intuition told me, like, no, actually, you want to travel again. And maybe after 3 weeks, I'll be like, okay, no, I'm done. And I want to go back, or I haven't figured out it like, yeah, it's not supposed to, like, the journey is not, you're not supposed to find a solution. You're supposed to, like, make the path to adulthood as beautiful as possible. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. And the thought of, like, trusting that I'm already on my path, and that I'm making the right choice already, and that I'm doing everything as right as I possibly could, is so relieving, you know. And that's basically just what I wanted to share, because I feel like we all sometimes get stuck in this whole, like, doubting ourselves, and in these insecurities, and, like, feeling anxious, and there's so much pressure, you know, like, so many people you see on Instagram, and also like this pressure to make it in your 20s. By 25 you should have, like, figured it all out, and then by 28 you should start thinking about kids and everything. And yeah, no, you can do it your own way, and it's your life. And I hope you can believe in the fact that life is on your side, and time is on your side, and everything will fall into place at some point. And I'm so excited if you're, like, on your way to have a good time again, like a long lasting good time. And if you hit some bumps on the road, you know, take your time, listen to yourself, calm down, and then start walking again. And yeah, I feel like that's basically it for today. I feel like I just talked so much, and I didn't even kind of really said what I wanted to say. But yeah, I hope you get the message, because this has been so intense for me, literally the last 2 years, and I've been struggling so much with it. And I get everyone who's feeling so alone in this, and who's, like, feeling like they're the only one, and you're not. We all struggle in our 20s. I don't know what the 30s are going to be like. I just know my 20s so far. And yeah, we got this, people. Somehow we got this. And yeah, hopefully my next episode will be on my road trip. And yeah, otherwise I think I'm gonna vlog a bit. So please follow me on YouTube and on Instagram. My name is Becky Bubble Podcast there. And otherwise, have a great week, and see you next Wednesday. Love you guys.